What's up, everybody? It's Jackpot DFS, man. Hope you guys have had a good week, man. We're headed for the weekend, so it's TGI Friday. Getting ready to talk some football for Sunday night's main slate. Uh, and talk about what we got going on this week. So some things have changed. Obviously, we got some weather things that, possibly with all the kind of the North games and the AFC. We've got Big Ben maybe possibly out due to COVID-19 issues, etc. So let's get into it, man. Let's check out our quarterbacks for the week. I want to first say, guys, hey, if you haven't liked and subscribed, man, please do so. Share the video, man. Let's get the channel out and let it grow. Guys, try your best. If you watch the video, man, it takes 2 seconds. Hit that like button. You guys can also find me on Twitter. I always post that in the video description. You guys can add me as a follow over there as well. Usually try to get out pivots and things like that for guys who are not going to play. What's kind of a pivot play from that, etc. Looks like we're going to have a lot of chalk this week with like a Mike Davis, etc. And honestly, I'm a Panther fan. However, I don't know, man, if I'm going to go that route or not. Tampa Bay's a pretty good defense, and if everybody's going to be on it, might be a good way to pivot and head somewhere else. We'll kind of look at that. So, anyway, guys, let's get to our quarterbacks that I like for the week. Going to have some win issues as far as the Green Bay Jacksonville game. With that being said, I don't shy away from the win kind of with up there in Green Bay. Only mainly because they have some kind of protection a little bit against that, and it didn't seem to bother Aaron Rodgers throwing the other week or last week, so with the wind issue. So I'm not really concerned about the wind. That's kind of play at your own risk. If you think the wind's going to be a big deal, then don't play him. I still really, really like Aaron Rodgers this week against Jacksonville. It's a great matchup for him this week, and they're just rolling. Don't see anywhere that's kind of going to fail this week. Also like Kyler Murray. Buffalo has been kind of struggling on defense this year. Kyler Murray's just been outstanding this season. This past 3 games, man, 29, 41, and a 42. That's strong. I mean, real strong. Even at 8,000, that's not too much to pay for your quarterback. Considering that most of these quarterbacks that you pay up for this week, I mean, all season have pretty much put up the numbers. I mean, not many of them have failed. The only one you kind of seen fail a little bit was kind of, Jackson when he was up here. He's not had the greatest season in the world. He hasn't been putting up those big numbers on the ground either. So he's kind of fell off a little bit. So, but these guys up here now are actually producing. Let's see. I like Aaron Rodgers, love Murray this week. Could see some struggling with Russell Wilson this week. I know he's been great, pretty good here lately, but the Rams defense is pretty good. I think I like some other quarterbacks better than I do Wilson this week. I definitely like Murray and Rodgers over him this week. I also like Josh Allen over him this week. That could be a monster game for Allen as well. Deshaun Watson's in a pretty good matchup. However, they will be playing at Cleveland, and the win's supposed to be picked up there. Kind of at your own risk to see what you like there. Herbert's been strong, man. He's just all these guys have been strong. Herbert's 42, 23, and a 26. Coming up a great matchup. Miami's a little bit tougher on defense, but honestly, man, I don't see anything slowing this kid down. I think he'll still be fine. Not one of my top fives of the week. My top fives are most likely going to be Murray, Rodgers, Josh Allen, Goff, and I'll have to include one more. Slide down the list here and find him here at a little bit of a value. Probably kind of on the fence of Derek Carr or Drew Lock, honestly, for a fifth top five this week. You could probably slide down and hit some Alex Smith this week against that bad Detroit defense. Kind of hit or miss with that. I don't know how much Alex Smith will actually have. I'm kind of scared that he might get hurt and at some point, and he's just kind of fragile. And I just fear that he's going to get hit. And then, here we are saying farewell, Alex Smith. It's a great story, but hopefully he can make it through the rest of the season. It's a great story, but I just worry about his health and how good he'll be able to take sacks and things like that. A couple other guys to mention in the video, man. Baker Mayfield going against a bad Houston defense could be a nice target this week as well. I don't think they're going to struggle much without having OBJ the rest of the season. I think they'll be fine. But I love the matchup for Goff this week. Seattle's obviously not been able to stop anything. They're last in the league in pretty much everything. They can't really stop anything. So let's go Goff, and I believe they're playing at home as well. So couldn't even be any better for that. So let's go Goff. But moving on, I just some small consideration for possibly Drew Brees and Tom Brady, the old guys, old folks home. Running backs not going to do anything mobile, but Tom Brady is going against the Panthers this weekend. Tom Brady, the Panthers are pretty good, have been pretty good against defending the pass. However, it's going to be hard to defend Gronk, Mike Evans, Godwin, and Antonio Brown too. I just don't know how well we're going to fare against that. Kind of a flyer for Tom Brady. Plus, he's probably pissed off because they got beat down the other night by the Saints. So keep that in mind. However, Drew Brees has had a pretty decent season so far. 25, 20, and 24 the last 3 games. I know he's going against San Francisco, but obviously I think they're going to struggle a little bit not having a lot of their playmakers, and could be a nice spot for Drew Brees this week. All I kind of like at quarterback this week. Moving on to running backs. Off the charts, man. Aaron Jones. Obviously, Aaron Jones. Love him this week. With all that win, it could be a nice week for Aaron Jones to have a big game. It's been a little bit since we've seen that 4 TD performance kind of deal, but that doesn't stop him. I mean, he could definitely do it again this week. The Jags are terrible on defense. James Conner all let us down this past week, but if Big Ben's out, they could really depend on James Conner. So pay attention to that news. If Big Ben is out, I could see them depending on the run kind of a little bit more than they normally would, and it's a great way to do that against a bad Bengals defense. So possibly some James Conner for me this week. Pay attention to the Nick Chubb news. He may be back. They have activated him, but not to come back to the team just yet. They may hold him out another week and let him get his legs back under him and get in shape a little bit more before they actually put him in the game. So it could be another Kareem Hunt leak. We'll just have to kind of keep our eyes on that and see if it's another Kareem Hunt week. If Nick Chubb is back, I like him over Hunt, but if he's out, obviously Kareem Hunt. James Robinson, Green Bay's horrible against the run. Could be another nice week for him. We got Miles Sanders back. Could be a nice week for Miles Sanders coming back for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also could be a nice week for Darrell Henderson. Some consideration for him going against that bad Seattle defense. A couple other guys to mention. Antonio Gibson, love him, as well as McKenzie. Could be nice plays this week. As well as I actually prefer Leonard Fournette in the Tampa Bay run game over Ronald Jones myself. I'm not sure what they're doing with them guys. It's hard to tell. One week you think it's just going to be Fournette, and the next week they let Ronald Jones run some more. So not really sure what they're doing there exactly. So kind of enter at your own risk on that one. Looking at the rest of the guys here, a lot of people are going to be on Mike Davis this week for a good reason. If McCaffrey's for sure going to be out, that will be a good place for Mike Davis. However, that's a tough Tampa Bay defense, and my kind of take on that is that kind of pivot around there. You can find guys that kind of close to that range. However, with all that ownership, if you pivot to something else and it works out and Mike Davis doesn't, man, you set yourself such in good shape. I'm kind of leaning with all the ownership going that route. I'm kind of leaning away from taking a Mike Davis. If he was in a better matchup, then I would probably lean on that. But with him going against Tampa Bay, I'm a little bit worrisome of that. So I don't really recommend going down to Duke Johnson. I'm not really going there. Or Bernard. I'll kind of float away like of a Philip Lindsay maybe, maybe even Josh Jacobs maybe. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but you've also got Pope possibly coming back, which is also $4,000. That might be a nice stab if he comes back, etc. So dance around that a little bit. You got Adrian Peterson at $4,000. These are guys you can kind of pick and play with to kind of avoid some of that ownership. Because that's like I said, if it doesn't work out for Mike Davis or whatever, then you've just won that by just avoiding that ownership. But those are a lot of guys I like this week. I do think Calvin Kamara is going to get a lot of pass targets this week. Josh Jacobs is somebody to mention that you could probably take. That should have a nice on paper matchup this week. So just in consideration for those kind of guys. So kind of pick around and see what matchup works best for you. But those are the ones I like myself. Looking at receivers, obviously Davante Adams, I love his production and what he's been doing here lately. Very well could be the best receiver in the game right now. 48, 30, and 36 last 3 games. I mean, I'm just going back to that. Well, I'll build around Davante Adams and work myself around that and kind of build my lineup from there. A few other guys to mention, kind of top 5 guys that I like for the week. Keenan Allen, Diggs, Kupp, McLaurin, Woods, all these guys are going to get targets, massive targets. Hard not to know that these guys are going to get production, obviously, and have good days. Some other guys to mention that I do like. And so I know if Big Ben's going to be back, I'm going to kind of stay away from the Cincinnati side, only because I'm not sure what's going to happen there, and I don't really want to. Hard to judge that just now without knowing what Big going on. But obviously, if Big Ben's out, I do like those guys a little bit more because I think they'll have the ball more and be able. And I think that defense will get tired. Love DJ Moore and Anderson this week. I know they're going against a tough Tampa defense, but DJ Moore's in a great spot this week, 5,100. You really can't beat that. A couple other guys to mention: Sterling Shepard and even Slayton could be a nice matchups this week for the Giants. Obviously, like Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller this week as well. Also, could like that New Orleans defense looks like it stepped up its game a little bit, so I'm going to kind of shy away from them kind of guys this week. However, like a Tim Patrick at 4,900 is great. Going against that bad Las Vegas Raiders secondary. Also on the Cleveland side, Rashad Higgins, guys like that, 4,600. There's plenty of ways to save this week. A couple other guys to mention: Josh Reynolds is only 3,500, 5, 8, and 9 targets this week. This past 3 games for Josh Reynolds for the Rams receiver, he's pretty much locked in as the number 3 for them, and he does get targeted, so he could steal a couple touchdowns away this weekend in a nice matchup against the Seahawks. And just a couple of the guys to mention. I mean, I think it's going to be tough for Luton this week to pass against that Green Bay defense. Running's kind of the way you get by them this weekend. We'll have to keep an eye on Judy, but I do like Judy if he comes back this week, if he's going to play. Marvin Jones, Deontay Johnson, these guys are still relatively cheap. Curtis Samuel's still 4,900. He could be a playmaker for them this weekend. And Alshon Jeffrey is going to be back this week against that Giants defense at $4,000. So just stuff to think about, guys. These are nice pivotal plays that you can use this week that may help you save some salary to build a better roster. Tight end this week, man, it's really cheap. Darren Waller I like this week. If Hockenson plays, I do like him this week. Noah Fant should be back, so he's been in a great spot against the Las Vegas Raiders. Evan Ingram. Ebron, if Big Ben plays, I'm not quite sure about Rudolph. I don't really like him as a quarterback. Austin Hooper will be back at 3,900 this week. Logan Thomas. All these guys in great spot. Rob Gronkowski is going to be against the Panthers this week, 4,700. I don't know that they can seem to stop him if they got anybody to keep up with him. Dallas Goedert, 4,200. Hunter Henry is just kind of floating around that $4,100 range. Could be a nice target for them this week. Tunyon is questionable, didn't practice today. If he does not play on Sunday, then you obviously want to pivot down to a guy at 2,500. I'll find him down here. Well, this will be Sternberger. I'm trying to find him here so I can point him out for you guys. There he is. Jay Sternberger will be the starting tight end most likely if he's out. He has made some plays for them this season, so just keep an eye on that injury news. Other than that, just normal guys. Jordan Reed, Darren Fells. I do like Everett over Higbee myself. I just think he makes the bigger plays for the Rams over Higbee myself. And other than that, guys, that's pretty much what I like at tight end for the week. I mean, it gives you 5 to 9 options or so to choose from. Relatively cheap, mostly, unless you go with Waller or Hockenson, but plenty of value this week at several different positions. So, looking at defense, this score is going to get kind of tough this week. With the wind and all that, and going to Green Bay. I can see the Packers defense being kind of good. I can see the Steelers defense being okay. Burrow worries me a little bit. He's a little bit better of a QB. So I would kind of stay off the Steelers this week myself. I mean, we saw Gerbert just kind of walk the dog on him. So, I mean, I think Joe Burrow's not going to do that to him. So I'm kind of standoffish with them right now. Eagles D, Washington defense could be decent this week. The Saints, if Roethlisberger does not play this weekend, I might pivot all the way down to the Bengals. To be honest, Rudolph can make mistakes, and if Roethlisberger's not going to play this weekend, I might come all the way down to the Bengals and play them. Who knows? Other than that, maybe the Lions, maybe the Cards. I'm kind of stay off the Cards. Maybe the Lions going against that. Alex Smith gets knocked out of the game, then who's going to come in there? Who knows? Possibly the Browns as well and the Chargers possibly. So just some different defenses you could play. Those are probably it for me. I'll be on some of these guys, and I'll probably play 20 lines this weekend or so myself. And, kind of go that direction. But that's pretty much it for me, guys, on what I'm looking at this week. Several different ways you can go. Obviously, we'll have to pay attention to the injury news and COVID news, see who's going to be out and all that stuff. It's still a couple of days away. Pay attention to my Twitter, guys. I will post things that I see to give you guys a heads up and make it a quick reference to kind of keep to building your lineups and correlating with that. If you guys have any questions, as always, man, hit me up in the comment section. Hit me up on Twitter. Always usually available, and now we'll get back to you, man. Trying to not do it like 5 minutes left to start time on Sunday. That makes it a little tougher for me to get back with you, but if you get me back in enough time, I can generally answer those questions for you. But anyway, guys, hope you all have a great weekend, man. Again, if like and subscribe, guys, that will help me out a ton. Helps grow the channel. And if you haven't added me or following me on Twitter, please do so you can see those updates and things as well. But you guys have a great weekend, man. Let's win some big-ass money this weekend and see what we can do, guys. Have a good weekend. All right, guys. Bye.